morning, class. I'm Teacher Christine, your teacher for today's lesson. Our previous lesson had highlighted the identification of significant details in a text, which involves the process of noting essential information that text provide. So today, let's recall the lesson through a simple activity. In this activity, you are going to identify the details given in each item. So for each item, you will be given 10 seconds to process your answers. Okay, let's start. Number 1 is, these are details that are implied but not easily expressed. The answer is implicit details. Next, this is a reading comprehension skill that involves picking out from a piece of text information to achieve a given purpose. The answer is noting details. This type of text informs, instructs, or persuades a reader by giving facts and information. The answer is informational text. These are details that are stated clearly. Explicit details. And last but not the least, this text purpose is to describe people's characters, places, events, and things in an imaginative way. The answer is literary text. Okay, how many among you got 5? Okay, good job if you got 5 over 5 in this activity, kids. So our lesson for today features different text types. This includes identification and analysis of the structure, purpose, and language features. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to demonstrate understanding of text elements to comprehend various texts and identify the author's purpose in writing a text. Let's start this lesson with a simple activity. I have here a picture. What can you see? So these are the different types of pasta. As you can see in the photo, there are so many shapes, styles, and sizes of a pasta. So we have short, we have long, we have sheet, stuffed, and dumpling pasta. These pastas are shaped specifically to hold other ingredients like cheese, meat, and vegetables. So anyone who is a pasta lover here? Have you ever tried cooking any pasta recipe or assisted your mom or your dad in cooking a pasta? Okay. So this time, kids, I'll show you another picture. Yan. How do you call this pasta recipe? This is what we call spaghetti aglio e olio, which means spaghetti with garlic and oil. Have you ever tasted this? I love that just a few good ingredients can make such a wonderful meal, right? So they said sometimes the simplest things are the best. So this pasta is a great example. At this juncture, we're going to do learning task 1 by reading the passage on the screen, which has something to do with the pictures I have shown you a while ago. Okay, it's about pasta. Okay, I'm gonna read it now. I'm a pasta lover. I love aglio olio pasta. There are lots of ways on how to prepare it, but I tried to learn how to cook it in my own simple way. First, cook the pasta in boiling water using the procedures indicated in the pasta wrapper. Secondly, fry the stripped bacon until it becomes golden brown. Set aside it after. Then, put enough amount of olive oil in the saucepan. Saute the minced garlic. Add salt and pepper. Place the drained pasta. Add enough amount of lemon juice. Include the chopped celery and pre-cooked bacon. Okay, it's time for us to answer the questions. So number 1 is, what description does the author provide about him or herself? According to the passage, the author is a pasta lover. That's right. 2. What are the ingredients needed in preparing his favorite food? We have bacon, olive oil, garlic, salt and pepper, of course, the pasta, garlic, lemon juice, and celery. 3. Enumerate the steps in preparing his or her favorite food. So, what are the steps? First, cook the pasta in boiling water using the procedures indicated in the pasta wrapper. Secondly, fry the stripped bacon until it becomes golden brown. Set it aside after. Then, put enough amount of olive oil in the saucepan. Saute the minced garlic. Add salt and pepper. Place the drained pasta. Add enough amount of lemon juice. Include the chopped celery and pre-cooked bacon. Okay, did you get it? Next, what structure of text type is employed in the selection? So in this selection, the text structure is sequence or instruction or process. So why is the text structure sequence, instruction, or process? It is because it provides steps in performing an action or events. It involves process. Let's move on to learning task 2. So in this learning task, we are going to read another passage, then answer the questions that follow. Have you ever seen Mount Banahaw and Mount Makiling? These are the 2 important land features in Calabarzon. They are both magnificent in terms of their flora and fauna. They provide nesting place to great species that are uniquely available in their systems. They are also considered mystical. Both mountains provide great source of water to locals. They are surrounded by nearby hot springs. Hot springs near Mount Makiling can be found in Pansol area, while hot spring near Mount Banahaw is located in Tayabas City. So the first question is, what are the 2 figures or icons portrayed in the selection? Mount Banahaw and Mount Makiling. 2. Are they similar? Describe the features of the 2. Yes, because they are both magnificent in terms of their flora and fauna. They provide nesting place to great species that are uniquely available in their system. And they are also considered mystical. Both mountains provide a great source of water to locals. And lastly, they are surrounded by nearby hot springs. 3. Are there differences between the 2? Explain their dissimilarities. The answer is yes. The location of the hot spring near them. That's the difference. Hot springs near Mount Makiling is found in Pansol area, while hot springs near Mount Banahaw is located in Tayabas City. Number 4. What structure of text type is employed in this selection? The answer is compare and contrast. Okay, so why did I say it's compare and contrast? It is because they provide similar and or dissimilar information about Mount Banahaw and Mount Makiling. So, this text structure involves a comparison involving the 2 mountains. Okay, so that's it. This time, let's have learning task number 2. So in this learning task, you are to read a paragraph and then draw a figure described by the text, then identify the author's purpose in writing it. Okay, let's read it all together. Bugoy has a little kitten named Lola. She is a fantastic cat with big ears, blue eyes, beautiful paws, and long white and gray hair. She loves to sleep in the sofa while waiting for Bugoy to come home after a long day of work. Bugoy loves Lola and she loves him too. Okay? So I'll give you 5 minutes to draw the figure described by the text. Go! Okay, time's up for this activity. Your outputs will be checked via Google Classroom. So now, I'll be showing you my output. You see. Okay, so that's it. Okay, it has ears, it has blue eyes, beautiful paws, and long white and gray hair. Now the question is, what is the author's purpose in writing this selection? It's to inform. Yes, it is to inform. Why? It is because it informs the reader how magnificent or how beautiful this little kitten is. Okay? So that's it. Last week, we have touched in our discussion the two basic type of text. So what are these again? We have the factual or informational text and the literary text. So when we say factual text, these endeavor to inform, instruct, or persuade through the use of facts and information, while literary texts seek to entertain, enlighten, or elicit emotion through a creative use of language and structure. So this time we'll have the purposes of text types. So text types have three main purposes. It's to entertain, to inform, or to persuade. The first is to entertain. So to entertain means to provide leisure or enjoyment to readers. So this is to make the reader enjoy reading. That is to entertain. Next, to inform. To inform means to educate or instruct readers on particular details or information. In short, it's to tell a reader about something. And number 3, to persuade. This means to ask readers to believe on a particular issue or stand. So this allows one to do something caused by sound argumentation. Is to change a reader's opinion. So to achieve these purposes, authors use one or more of the following 5 structures. So we have description, sequence, instruction or process, cause and effect, compare and contrast, and problem solution. So in order for you to fully understand and analyze informational texts, whether they are reading textbooks, news articles, or works of literary nonfiction, you must be able to unpack these 5 text structures and study their components. So let's have description first. So description. What does description mean? This describes a person, a place, events, and animal. This is pretty straightforward, so texts that use this structure simply describe something. So with few exceptions, these texts also present plenty of details about what they are describing. So a text using this structure might also tell you why something is being described, tell you why the described topic is important, and provide examples of the described topics. So in descriptive writing class, the author does not tell the reader what was seen, felt, tasted, or smelled or heard. So rather, he describes something that he experienced and make it seem real through his choice of words. So words, descriptive writing is vivid, colorful, and detailed, so it creates an impression in the reader's mind of an event, a place, a person, or a thing. So writing will be such that it will set a mood or describe something in such detail that if the reader saw it, they would recognize it. So let's have this example. So let me read it. I like a furry, four-legged animals as my pet. These are loyal, honest, and genuine animals. They are more trustworthy than any other animal or human being. It wagged its tails every time it sees its owner. It was a God-gifted creature which was created just to accompany humans as his friend. A human may not be someone's true friend, but this pet always is, and will always and will remain so forever unless the world falls apart. Human must be thankful to his little companion and love him unconditionally, just like it loves its owners. The furry, little playful animals are true from the heart. They may not know what is wrong or right exactly, but they certainly sense danger and deception. This will always protect its owner's danger even if it has to give up its life. So, what type of animal is being described in the text? Certainly it's a dog, correct? Okay, so let's proceed to number 2. We have sequence, instruction, and process. So this provides steps in performing an action or order of event. So this text structure covers a few purposes. Sequential instructions, step 1, step 2, step 3, do this, do that, and finally do this. That's sequential. Chronological events, this happened, then this happened, then this happened. That's chronological. Arguments that use evidence to support a claim, presenting evidence from least to the most convincing. So when you read or write a text with this structure, order is the key. So this explains how a task can be completed or how a task can be done. So can you give me a list of words or phrases that indicate a text follows the sequence, instruction, or process text structure? Okay, so we have after, before, during, earlier, eventually, finally, and many more. So, recipes and science experiments are common examples of this type of text or this structure of text. Some common forms could also be directions. How do I get somewhere? So very specific instructions including location and names and title is an example. Instructions. How do I do something? So your language must meet the needs of your audience and you may need to include a diagram if there are complex elements to complete. What about recipes? How do I cook something? Rules for games also. How do I play this? So be conscious of your audience and write in a style and language they will understand. Yung dapat naiintindihan nila. So you're almost guaranteed to require visuals in this style of writing. And we also have manuals. How do I operate these? Are there any warnings I need to be aware of before proceeding? So be very specific in the explanation. And then we also have the agendas. What are we going to do? What are we doing? When are we doing it? Who is responsible? So that's it. So let's have this example. How to make calamansi juice concentrate. So, do you know what a calamansi juice is? So, today let's learn how to make calamansi juice with the simple instructions. Okay, so calamansi juice is popular in the Philippines. This is the liquid therapy I drink when I have colds. We could make this in a minute or two. Just follow these simple steps. First, carefully wash the fruits with water. Next, cut crosswise and manually squeeze the juice in your glass. Remove the seeds. Then, combine the calamansi juice, water, and a spoonful of sugar if necessary using a spoon. Finally, store in the fridge until chilled. Serve and drink. You can see on the screen, there are signal words that were used in creating the paragraph. So we have first, next, then, and finally. Okay? So let's have this one. Cause and effect. So what is cause and effect? So this seeks to identify what happened and how or why it happened. So here are some signal words that may indicate that the information in a paragraph is organized as cause and effect. So we have the word because, as a result, resulted, cause, affected, since, due to, effect. Okay? So cause and effect is a relationship between events or things. So where one is the result of the other or others. So this is a combination of action and reaction. So something happens that is a cause that leads to an effect. So for example, if we eat too much food and do not exercise, we gain weight. So eating food without exercising is the cause, weight gain is the effect. So there may be multiple causes and multiple effects. This is just an example. Okay, so let's have another example. Okay, so this is the paragraph. Students are not allowed to chew gum in my class. While some students think that I am just being mean, there are many good reasons for this rule. First, some irresponsible students make messes with their gum. They may leave it on the bottoms of the desk, drop it on the floor, or put it on other people's property. Another reason why I don't allow students to chew gum is because it is a distraction. When they are allowed to chew gum, students are more worried about having it, popping it, chewing it, and snapping it than they are in listening, writing, reading, and learning. This is why I don't allow students to chew gum in my class. So, what did you notice with the paragraph? So as you can see, the paragraph focuses on explaining the reason why something occurs or occurred, and that time will usually not pass in this paragraph. So the cause is gum makes messes in the classroom. Okay? Another cause is gum is a distraction. What's the effect? So, students are not allowed to chew gums. That's it. So let's have the compare and contrast. Compare and contrast provides similar or dissimilar information about two persons, places, events, or animals. This text structure involves a comparison involving multiple things. So revealing how they are similar and how they are different. So it shows how two or more things are alike or how they are different. So let's have this example. Many years ago, the native people of North America built special houses. One kind of house was a teepee. Teepees were easy to put up and take down. In fact, it only took about 30 minutes to do this. The Inuit who live in a cold Arctic region sometimes live in igloos. Igloos were temporary homes like teepees. However, they were built for the cold winter months, whereas a teepee could be used all year. Both teepees and igloos had one big room for the family. The teepees and igloos were usually made for only one family. Teepees and igloos were made of very different materials. Igloos were made from blocks of snow put on top of each other, while teepees were made from buffalo hide, tree bark, or grass. So the shades of teepees and igloos were also different. Teepees were made in the form of cones. In contrast, igloos were round. So my question is, does this paragraph compare and contrast two things? If no, how do you know it is not a compare and contrast paragraph? If yes, what two things are being compared? Okay, yes. The two things being compared here are the two special houses which built by the native people of America. So the teepees and igloos. So what clue words in the paragraph show that the author is comparing and contrasting? We have the word however. What else? Both. What else? while, and we also have contrast. Okay, so what are the similarities of teepees and igloos? So the similarities could be both teepees and igloos had one big room for the family. So the teepees and igloos were usually made for only one family. Okay? So what are their differences? Igloos were made from blocks of snow put on a top of each other, while teepee were made from buffalo hide, tree bark, or grass. And the shape of teepees and igloos were different too. Teepees were made in the form of cones, while igloos were round. So those are the differences. Okay? So I hope you understood what compare and contrast means. Okay, so this time let's have the last one, the problem and solution. This states the problem and the possible solution. So this text structure involves two parts. The author identifies the problem and the author details a solution to this problem. So what are the signal words and phrases that are used in this text structure? So we have the problem is, the dilemma is, if, then, because, so that, should, question or answer, and then I propose. So let's have the sample passage for this text structure. Many students have been getting low scores on tests, and this is upsetting to parents, teachers, and students. Low test scores show that teachers aren't teaching effectively or that students aren't learning. Either way, it's a concerning issue. I propose the following. Any teacher who is giving a test should open up their classroom for study groups the night and morning before the test. By giving students extra opportunities to study, we can possibly improve students' test scores. So let us analyze the passage. What is the problem in this passage? The problem is students have been getting low scores on tests. So what is the proposed solution? Any teacher who is giving a test should open up their classroom for study groups. So let us analyze its content. So what keywords identify the problem and solution? So as I have mentioned ago, we have the clue word I propose. So I propose any teacher who is giving a test. Like that. Okay? So we have the word I propose. That is the keyword. So how is a single paragraph in the passage organized? So in the first paragraph, the problem is introduced to the reader, while in the second paragraph, the solution is stated. So that's it. Before we end the discussion for this week, I have some few questions for you. What are the two basic types of writing? We have informational text or factual text and literary text. What are their three main purposes? So the three main purposes are to entertain, to inform, and to persuade. What are the different text structures? We have description, sequence, instruction, process, cause and effect, compare and contrast, and problem and solution. Okay, so that's all for today, kids. Thank you so much. See you again next meeting. Bye!